Come on in, come on in, come on in, come on in. We got to talk about it. We got the winners and the losers coming from Cleveland Browns mini camp. There's a lot of good things that I've had opportunity to observe about what's going on in Cleveland. And I wanted to take an opportunity just to kind of talk about some of the people and players who have really helped themselves, and in my opinion, who has hurt themselves coming out of this mini camp. Now, I'm going to go 3 people who have helped themselves coming out of the Cleveland Browns mini camp, and I'm going to go, in my opinion, the 3 people who have hurt themselves coming out of the Cleveland Browns mini camp. The first person that I will say that really helped himself coming out of the Cleveland Browns mini camp would be none other than Shedeur Sanders. Remember, the narrative before the camp even started was that Deshaun Watson was ahead and Deshaun Watson was going to be QB1 for the Cleveland Browns. After several practices, you don't hear the same noise that was coming from people like Mary Kate Cabot, Tony Grossi, and some of the other reporters. They are less ambitious about what they have to say about Shedeur Sanders and the Deshaun Watson QB battle. The next person that I want to give their flowers to, from being a person that has a arrow pointing up, would be Isaiah Bond. Isaiah Bond is a second-year receiver out of Texas. Isaiah didn't get an opportunity to even participate last year in mini camp or anything of that nature. He came in right before the season started and was a decent contributor. Had a couple of big plays throughout the year. He was a player who probably would have been drafted late first or second round. Had some issues off the field that made it where he was undrafted. The Browns granted him a guaranteed contract as an undrafted free agent. So him stepping into his second year, he's showing a lot of great signs that he was a first or second round draft pick. And the third person that I want to give their flowers to will be none other than Denzel Boston. Denzel Boston was the 39th pick in the draft this year. Denzel Boston showed some really great signs during the minicamp, running slants, beating the DBs deep, showing that he could be the number 1 receiver. In my opinion, he may be the best receiver on the team. You have KC Concepcion, who was taken in the first round, and then Denzel Boston, who was taken in the second round. And in my opinion, those 2 receivers, Denzel Boston and Isaiah Bond, may be making room for the Browns to be able to get rid of a person that I'm going to speak about as one of the losers, in my opinion. So when I start with the losers, I like to start with my first loser, who would be Jerry Jeudy. Jerry Jeudy is in a tough situation because he has 2 young guys who is nipping at his heels to be starters. Of course, you know they're going to play Concepcion because he's the first round draft pick. But in my opinion, Isaiah Bond is making Jerry Jeudy very expendable. And when I say expendable, he's going to be a receiver who takes the top off. I think Concepcion will be your gadget guy, and Boston is going to be the guy, in my opinion, who makes the number 1 receiver plays. So Jerry Jeudy, I know that you've had a Pro Bowl season since you've been a professional, but you are in a tough situation, and you definitely are a loser because the Browns have brought in your replacements, guys who have the same skill set, guys who can do some of the things that you do, but a lot younger and a lot cheaper. My second loser would be Cedric Tillman. Okay, Cedric Tillman is a bigger receiver. Started some games last year for the Browns. Was considered a starter, but with the acquisition of Denzel Boston, he does not contribute on special teams. So what does the Browns do with Cedric Tillman? He is going to be at best the fourth or fifth receiver, and if you're not a contributor on special teams, there really isn't a place for a fourth or fifth receiver that doesn't play special teams. So that makes him very expendable. And my last loser will be Grant Delpit. Now, Grant Delpit is a good player. He has been a starter for the Browns at the safety position. I was watching the other day. I saw that he wasn't participating because he is upset that the Browns have not granted him a new contract. And anytime you get into those type of things when it comes to contract talks and you see that they have drafted a guy who can replace you, and also they re-signed Ronnie Hickman, who is a guy who started at safety. So with that, that makes you a loser, because if you are, I mean, you know, like I said, I got to give Grant Delpit some love. He is a good player, but he's not a Pro Bowl level player. He's not a trash player. So with you trying to stand on business for a contract, you really are putting yourself in a tough situation, because you are what we call a tweener. You're not good enough for the team to spend big dollars on, but you're not a player who sucks. So with that said, that is my winners and losers coming out of the Cleveland Browns mini camp. If you have things to say, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. It's always good to get some good interaction going. We are at about 500 subscribers, and subscribe. You know, let's get this thing going. This is something that I really love doing, and I appreciate you. So no matter what you do, make sure you keep it sturdy, champ. Yes, Lord.